You really shouldn't miss this video. Things are going crazy behind the scenes. It has been proven once more that Ripple will win the SEC hearing. It could happen at any time now. You're not prepared. It's getting even more interesting because experts say XRP could really go through the roof and reach $1,000 right after the trial ends. Doesn't it sound crazy? Let's do it one step at a time. Nota bene. There has been legal uncertainty for almost 4 years, but now the long-running fight between Ripple Labs and the Securities and Exchange Commission may be coming to an end. It could not be more important as billions of dollars in the future of XRP are at stake. The court has set August 15th as a very important date for the SEC to officially let the appellate court know how its case against Ripple is going. Even though this might seem like nothing special, a lot of people think it could be the turning point that ends one of the most important cases in the history of crypto. Ripple got some legal success in 2023 when a US judge said that XRP is not a property when it is sold on the open market. People in the crypto community, not just people who owned XRP, were happy about this choice. They saw it as a win for decentralized innovation. But the issue of how to classify XRP in institutional sales was still not settled. This left a regulatory gray area that still makes US regulators doubt the project's full legitimacy. Mark Fagel, a former lawyer for the SEC, gave some advice on what should happen next. In a social media post, he said that the upcoming date doesn't mean there will be a decision or dismissal, but there's a good chance the SEC will drop its appeal. CoinGabe said in a tweet that Fagel thinks both Ripple and the SEC will drop their appeals by August 15th, which would make it possible for a final deal. There would be much needed closure for Ripple if that happens. It could also set a standard that could change how digital assets are regulated in the US. The XRP community is getting more and more excited. One expert wrote, "Get ready for the end of the SEC versus Ripple case." And John Squire said exactly what people were thinking. The fight between the SEC and Ripple is almost over. There will be years of waiting, billions of dollars at stake, and a choice that could change the future of XRP and the whole crypto business. It's no longer just about Ripple in this case. It's turned into a proxy war over how to regulate cryptocurrencies in the US, a test of how far the SEC can go with its power, and a rallying point for people who want better rules for blockchain innovation. What happens next could very well affect how crypto companies release tokens, set up sales, and deal with the complicated relationship they have with financial regulators. A deal would mean a change, and not just for Ripple. It could also mean a change for other projects that have been stuck in the courts. At the same time, Ripple could be in a unique situation to grow as international markets move toward clearer rules for digital assets. If regulatory hurdles in the US are removed at the same time that blockchain-based financial solutions become more popular around the world, XRP could be a key part of the next step of financial transformation. It seems like everyone in the crypto world is holding their breath as the August 15th deadline draws near. What will happen is very important, whether the SEC decides to end its case or keep going. This could finally be the moment when Ripple, XRP, and an industry that has been waiting for direction for a long time finally get it. Right? And just when you thought the case between Ripple and the SEC couldn't get any more heated, crypto experts are making even more explosive predictions. And some people think that strict new rules are about to be put in place. Some people think that XRP could really take off if the legal cloud finally goes away. Believe me, what they're saying now could blow your mind. Maxi wrote, "Today XRP will go crazy," which is something that many other crypto Twitter users also said. Even more, XRP Dragon made the bold claim that XRP will rise to $1,000. That might sound really crazy until you read what Bale has to say. XRP could go up to more than $3,000. That was the highest point you could expect XRP to go. But Finance Bro and Ripple Eagle think it will go much higher, between $10,000 and $100,000. This number set doesn't make sense at first, but if you look more closely, you'll see that even the craziest claims are based on the risky math that crypto buyers love and sometimes fear. It's a simple idea with a lot of promise for a low price. And in fact, that's exactly why Common Sense Crypto did a bold study. In a recent blog post, the analyst said that a $1,000 purchase in XRP could become worth up to $50,000 in the current market. Putting the same amount of money into Bitcoin, he said, would only earn $1,300 to $1,500 back. He stressed that the growth potential, not the current price, is what counts. The XRP community has believed this story for a long time. Eduardo Farina, founder of Alpha Lions Academy, showed that XRP went from $0.5 to over $3 between November 2024 and January 2025. This was proof. In just 2 months, a gain of almost 600%. Bitcoin went from $68,000 to $112,000 in the same time frame, which is a good gain, but only 64% compared to other currencies. In basic terms, Farina broke it down. If you had put $50,000 into XRP during that rise, it would now be worth worth $340,000, only about $82,000 in Bitcoin. A lot of people have asked about that kind of showdown. If you put $1,000 into XRP, could it go up to $50,000 or more? For a $10,000 gain, XRP would have to hit just under $32 today. It would have to go over 159 to hit 50,000, a number that points to a total market value of almost 9.5 trillion. In that case, XRP would be worth the same as a country's GDP and bigger than most tech companies around the world. Some critics, like Justin Winheim, have called the idea unrealistic. They point to how well XRP has done in the past. But XRP still hasn't reached its 2018 high point of almost $4. Bitcoin, on the other hand, has more than doubled its all-time high. Even with all the hype, it hasn't yet hit the point where it's worth $1 trillion because it hasn't been adopted by institutions. Platforms like Changelly and Telegram make more cautious predictions that XRP could hit $50. But not until around the year 2035. The $150 bills might not show up until the 2040s, if they show up at all. Of course, that schedule doesn't stop people who want to dream. People with a lot of influence like Dustin Layden keep talking about how 1,000 XRP could be worth $50,000 by 2025. But let us back up. XRP might not get to $159, but that doesn't mean it won't give good gains. And then its lower starting point gives it more power in a bull market, and since the Ripple versus SEC case might be over soon, there's a good chance for a short-term rise. But investors shouldn't chase news or tweets that go viral. It means combining hope with reality and guesswork with plan.